Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Josh, and in today's video, we are just going to talk about a few topics that have been trending on the interwebs as of recent. The first of which is going to be that Billboard put out a list of the, according to them, top pop stars of the 21st century. Starting off with the list, we have, of course, number 1, Beyonce, and then at number 2, we have Taylor Swift, and then at number 3, we have Rihanna, and then following that, we have Drake, Lady Gaga, Britney Spears, Kanye West, Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande, and Adele. I'm not surprised that Beyonce is at the top of this list just because Beyonce has been in the game for so long. She's been in the game pretty much since before I was born. Like, she's still been able to hold on to relevancy, and she just dropped, again, Renaissance and Cowboy Carter, which are arguably two of her most popular albums as of recent. What did surprise me, though, is the fact that they put Taylor Swift in the number 2 spot. Now, I'm not trying to dig on Taylor Swift or anything. I think Taylor Swift is definitely one of the most popular and definitely most influential pop stars of the 21st century, like, without a doubt. She's one of the most successful. She just ended the Eras Tour, which is arguably, I think, one of the biggest tours, if not the biggest tours of all time. So I definitely think she deserves to be in the top 10 on this list, if not the top 15, and that's being a little bit harsh on her, but I think she definitely deserved to be in the top 10. However, I don't agree with placing her in the number 2 spot, and the reason why I say that is because Britney Spears is also on this list, and she is in the top 10. Problem is, I think she's way too low. I think Britney Spears should easily be in the number 2 or number 3 spot simply because of the impact she had on pop music as a whole. I think the top 3 list should easily be Beyonce at number 1, Britney Spears and Madonna should easily be tied for the number 2 spot. The impact that those 3 women have had on pop music as a whole is absolutely insane. Like, it cannot be understated just how impactful they have been in shaping what being a pop star means and what that looks like, and they have just pretty much laid the groundwork for any upcoming pop stars, both male and female. And we see that time and time again with these new pop stars and these people who are entering the music industry. They pretty much follow these 3 ladies' blueprints. Now, again, I'm not trying to dig on Taylor Swift. I definitely think she should be in the top 10. I just think we're doing a disservice to Britney Spears and Madonna by placing them so low on this list. We can see their impact in artists like Olivia Rodrigo, Sabrina Carpenter, Tate McRae, Addison Rae. Like, we can really see their impact on the new girls in the pop music industry. And so I think by putting like Britney Spears and not even putting Madonna in the top 10 is just a huge disservice, because these women are still relevant to this day, and they've been relevant in the game for so long, and they have just, again, laid the blueprint and laid the groundwork for what it means to be a pop star in the 21st century. Now, moving on, Rihanna in the number 3 spot. I'm not really mad about that. I don't think that that's doing a disservice to Rihanna or anything. I think it's fine that she's in the number 3 spot, simply because Rihanna really does tap into what being a pop star means. She's also been in the game for quite a long time. She's been relevant. She's had hits after hit after hit. Now, I don't think we're going to get any more music from Rihanna. I think she's pretty much done, but she still tops into that pop star. Like, she's still relevant, she still has an impact, and she still is very much influential in the pop music genre. I mean, she's got an ad on TikTok right now. I think it's a collaboration with Dior, and it's been all over my For You page. So I think putting Rihanna in the number 3 spot, I wouldn't really disagree with, just simply because of how Rihanna has really just tapped into what being a pop star means, and how she's just really also been hugely impactful in what it means to be a pop star in the 21st century. I think that's a much more fair comparison of all of these artists, just because, again, they've had such a huge impact on what it means to be a pop star, especially in the 21st century and in the modern era. And they've seen it all. These artists have been around since before cell phones were a mainstream thing, since before the internet was even a mainstream thing, and yet they've still been able to really just capture the audience and capture all of our interests and really just tap into what it means to be a pop star. We still see their impact to the day, especially Britney Spears. Tate McRae put out a music video not too long ago for her new song, It's Okay, I'm Okay, and the comparisons between her and Britney are like 1-to-1. Like, she is really just channeling pretty much sexy Britney Spears energy. Like, she's really tapping into the risque and the sexiness and the femme icon. And I think, again, by not putting Britney Spears and Madonna in the top 3 along with Beyonce, they're really just doing them a huge disservice. And again, I'm not trying to shade Taylor Swift. I think she definitely deserves to be in the top 10. She's hugely successful, and I definitely will credit her for that. I think she has definitely also tapped into what it means to be a pop star. I think she really tapped into what it means to be a pop star with her whole Reputation album. Like, if you were there when Reputation first came out, or when she was just teasing it, like, she really had the media, and especially pop culture media, in the palm of her hand. Like, you could not escape the Reputation teasers and the music videos and the deep dives into the Easter eggs and the hints and the shade she was throwing with that album, and especially the Look What You Made Me Do music video and the teaser trailers, and pretty much just, she really just tapped into it. And I don't think she has tapped into it like that since. I definitely think that she's gotten even more popular, but I don't think she's really tapped into what being like a pop star means like she did with Reputation, because really she was kind of just addressing her beef with Kanye and inconsequentially Kim Kardashian. And of course, I think every pop star has their moment where they're kind of beefing with somebody, and that kind of like takes them over, like takes over their life for a little bit, like it takes over their era. And so I think with Reputation, Taylor Swift really just tapped into what it means to be a pop star, because again, you could not escape Reputation. Like, it didn't matter how hard you tried. When she first teased Reputation, when she redid her whole Instagram with the New York Times font and the black and white with the snakes, like, she was everywhere. Like, you could not escape Reputation. And I think she really just tapped in to what it means to be a pop star. And I don't think she's really tapped into that as much recently. I think she's definitely gotten way more successful. So I don't think we should knock her down below the top 10. I think if you really want to be harsh, sure, top 15 is a great place for her, but I think top 10 is easily, like, yeah, she definitely deserves to be in the top 10 of this list. Below Rihanna, there's Drake right below her. I think putting Drake above Justin Bieber is a huge mistake. I'm sorry, but when I was growing up, Justin Bieber was everywhere. Like, I remember all the girls in elementary and middle school, like, they were obsessed with Justin Bieber. They, you know, the whole Beliebers thing, like, that was a huge thing. And I personally haven't seen that same outcome or even support or just fandom around Drake. Putting Drake above Justin Bieber, to me, that just seems weird, because Justin Bieber, when he first came out during the early 2010s, Justin Bieber was everywhere. Like, it didn't matter who you were, what you listened to, we all knew Justin Bieber. We all knew Baby. We all knew his songs. Like, we all knew that one person who just loved Justin Bieber. I can't say the same thing about Drake. Like, I don't remember Drake ever having this moment where it's like, he's everywhere. Like, with certain songs, yeah, with the Drake and Rihanna song, I remember that song, and I forget the name of it. I remember that song being everywhere, and I remember everybody talking about that. But again, he was working with Rihanna. I have never, or at least I don't remember Drake ever really reaching or really like becoming as popular or as like in the moment, like pop culture, pop star-y as Justin Bieber. When Justin Bieber, in the early 2010s, people were literally calling Justin Bieber the Prince of Pop, giving him that notion after Michael Jackson, who is of course known as the King of Pop. They were calling Justin Bieber the Prince of Pop. Like, that's how into just pop culture and pop stardom Justin Bieber was. Like, he really was just in it. Like, you could not top Justin Bieber in the early 2010s as far as pop music. And so I think putting Drake above Justin Bieber, like, I'm sorry, but no, Justin Bieber is easily going to clear Drake night and day when it comes to being like an actual pop star. I think Drake is definitely famous, and I think Drake definitely has a lot of fans, but recently we've seen like Drake has kind of fallen off, and I think, like, again, he never really reached the heights that Justin Bieber reached during the early 2010s. Like, Justin Bieber was everywhere, and I don't, at least in my memory, I don't remember Drake ever being that popular. So I would move Drake down on this list. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't even think he deserves to be in the top 10. I would put him in the top 15, if anything. That's where I think he really, like, that's his spot. He's more top 15, not top 10. I think Justin Bieber is definitely top 10, but Drake, I would bump him down to top 15. And maybe I'm a little bit hard on him, but that's just my personal opinion. Next below that, we have Lady Gaga. I think Lady Gaga, again, definitely deserves to be in the top 10. I don't really have a problem with that. Putting Lady Gaga in the 5th spot is perfectly where she fits. I'd say that she has had a huge impact on pop stardom as well. I'm not mad at them placing Lady Gaga in the top 5. I think that's perfectly where she belongs. So while editing this, I realized that I skipped over the number 6 spot, and the reason why is because Britney Spears is in the number 6 spot, and as I said earlier, I think she definitely should be top 3 on the list. Again, going back to what I said earlier, I think her and Madonna should easily be tied for the number 2 spot on this list. So that is why I skipped over the number 6 spot. So then in the number 7 spot, we have Kanye West. I think Kanye West being in the top 10, I think that fits, especially because when Kanye West was at peak Kanye West, he really was also tapping into pop stardom, especially what it means to be a male pop star. Like, he was doing things that really nobody had seen before. Like, he was tapping into this like futuristic aesthetic with Yeezy that to this day has just shaped what streetwear has just really become. Like, his collab with Adidas redefined streetwear pretty much for the most part. So I think putting him in the top 10 in this list, I agree with that, because he really did tap in again to that pop starriness. Like, he really did tap into what it means to be a pop star. Some of Kim Kardashian's best outfits are, like, you have to give the credit to Kanye, and ever since like their split, I definitely think there has been a decline in her outfits, and that's simply because Kanye's mind at time is insane. Like, sometimes he'll just say like absolutely insanely dumb crap, but you gotta credit it. Like, the dude just has a mind like no one else. Like, he pretty much redefined what streetwear looks like with Yeezy, and pretty much all up until now, it's just been a bunch of Yeezy knockoffs. Like, there's a whole bunch of Yeezy clone shoes. We've seen it in streetwear brands. I'd even say Balenciaga has been taking pages out of his playbook. And it's just like, his mind, I think it's just, it's so interesting, because before he started going on these crazy like anti-Semitic rants and just saying some absolutely out-of-pocket crap, he was just a visionary, I feel like. And so him being in the top 10 list, especially for a male pop star, I don't disagree with. Now, in terms of male pop stars, I think there are 2 male pop stars that are missing from this top 10 list. Again, I think we should kick Drake out of the top 10, stick him below top 10, put him in the top 15, but I think The Weeknd and Bruno Mars definitely belong in the top 10 on this list, because for them especially The Weeknd, like, oh my god, The Weeknd is really just tapping into what it means to be a pop star. The Weeknd is everywhere. There's not a single person I know that doesn't like The Weeknd. I don't like his more 80s sounding music, but I gotta hand it to him. He knows what he's doing, and his music it's insanely good. Like, there's a reason why The Weeknd is as big as he is. And so I think for him not to be in this top 10 list is kind of crazy, because I'm like, I think, yes, the pop girlies do run pop music. Like, there's a reason why most pop stars are female. But I think by not putting The Weeknd and Bruno Mars on this list, I think we're doing them a disservice. And I think they've definitely had a huge cultural impact on what it means to be a pop star, because there are a lot of people out here that are borrowing from The Weeknd and Bruno Mars's playbook. Like, I think those two, especially Bruno Mars and especially The Weeknd, they've had a huge impact on pop music. Like, they're just, again, The Weeknd is everywhere. Like, you can't go to a grocery store without hearing a Weeknd song. You can't listen to the radio without hearing a Weeknd song. And there's a reason why. It's because his music is just good. Like, he just really taps into what it means to be a pop star. And so I think by not including him on this top 10 list, I'm frowning at that, because I'm like, it doesn't come off as right to me. And especially when you're putting someone like, and again, I'm sorry, when you're putting someone like Drake in this top 10 list, but you're not going to put The Weeknd in there, yeah, okay, this list is a little bit unserious. I'm going to have to discredit you on that part. And then below Kanye West, we have Justin Bieber, and I already talked about Justin Bieber. I think Justin Bieber should be where Drake is at on this list, and I think Drake should be, again, top 15. And then below that, we have Ariana Grande. I feel like her place is perfectly fine. Again, I think she's also had a huge impact on pop music. I don't think it's been as big as the other names that are up high on this list, but I definitely think her impact should not be understated. So yeah, in terms of Ariana Grande's placement, I'm perfectly happy with it, and I think it's fine. It doesn't seem bad to me. And then right below Ariana Grande, we have Adele. I feel like Adele's placement is, I'd say, sufficient. I think she's definitely top 10. Putting Adele in the top 10 is perfectly fine. I think putting her not below top 10, but at the bottom of top 10 is perfectly acceptable, because Adele popped off with 25. Like, Adele was everywhere. Like, we all know an Adele song. Like, Adele really, again, tapped into what it means to be a pop star. And a lot of people really wouldn't consider Adele a pop star, because she doesn't really make like poppy music, if that makes sense. So I feel like a lot of people are like, well, she's not really a pop star, but she kind of is in essence. Like, to be a pop star, you don't necessarily have to make pop music. I'd say to be a pop star, you just have to be like a popular star, like a pop star. So I think putting her at the bottom of this top 10 is perfectly fine. I don't have a problem with it. I know some people will, but to me, it seems perfectly respectable to put her right at the bottom of the top 10. The next thing that I want to discuss is Jay-Z is unfortunately back in the news. So it just came out that there is a civil suit pending, and I forget what state it's in, but there's a civil lawsuit, and Jay-Z's name has just been added to the civil lawsuit. Now, originally, this civil lawsuit was against Sean Diddy Combs, where the victim in this lawsuit is accusing Diddy and now Jay-Z of graping them when she was only 13. She was a minor. Originally, she was just accusing Diddy, but now she has dropped, or at least her lawyers have added, Jay-Z's name to this accusation. That's just been circulating the webs recently. Now, this accusation comes from, I believe, the year 2000. She said that this took place at a MTV Awards after party where the two men allegedly raped her. And so this has just been circulating all over the internet. People have just been pretty much getting way into it. Like, they've just been doing deep dives into the background of Jay-Z. They've been lumping Beyonce into this because, again, she is married to Jay-Z. And they've just been really just doing like deep dives into this. And I think some people are really just, I think they're grasping at straws with some of the things they're saying. But I also think that some people, I don't think they're wrong. I think that the relationship between Jay-Z and Diddy is a bit weird, especially when you see how close the two were. It kind of, again, as I said in one of my previous videos, it kind of taps into this notion of how did you not know? Like, there's a certain point at which, yes, somebody can hide things from you, but there's a certain point at which when you become, I think, close enough to somebody, or when you're married to somebody, some of their actions, especially when it comes to things like SA and graping somebody, I think that there is a point at which it's like you just had to have known. Like, there's just no way. And again, I think there are plenty of cases out there, and there are plenty of cases out there where somebody's spouse or somebody's best friend or even parent or sibling has found out something absolutely shocking about their loved one, where it's like they found out they're a serial killer. Like, we see that a lot of times, especially with serial killers, where it's like their roommate or their best friend or like their parents are even shocked and appalled because they had no idea. So I definitely think it is possible to hide things from somebody. The issue, though, I have with giving, especially people when they're this wealthy, the benefit of the doubt is when people are this well connected, it is definitely reasonable to ask, how did you not know? Especially in the case, again, of Beyonce and Jay-Z. Beyonce has been married to Jay-Z for quite a long time. Now, Jay-Z is 12 years older than Beyonce, so a lot of people have also been coming after Beyonce and saying that, oh, you know, Jay-Z groomed her, and oh, you know, how do you feel? You're living with somebody who's a groomer who's also now like an alleged rapist. So I think that that's a little bit foul. But again, I'm not trying to say that the victim is lying, and I'm not trying to say that at all. I'm not trying to excuse Jay-Z. I'm certainly not going to come on here and say that, oh my God, Jay-Z's innocent. At least from what I've seen on the internet, some people are just, some of this is simply because of the fact people do not like Beyonce and Jay-Z, just in general. I feel like a lot of people in recent years especially, I feel like a lot of people have just been coming after Beyonce and Jay-Z, and I feel like especially after all the Diddy stuff came out, a lot of people just been coming after this couple, especially simply because of the fact they don't like them. And that's perfectly fine, but I think what's wrong here is I think when we start conjuring up these theories and conjuring up these conspiracies and start doing these deep dives, I think we have to be careful, because some of us do actually care, and some of us do want justice for these victims, and some of us do want the full truth out, but there are also some of us who have ulterior motives, and some of us who just want to see Beyonce and Jay-Z, they just want to see their downfall. Like, they're just plotting, they're just hoping, like, they're like, oh my God, I'm gonna go expose Jay-Z because I don't like Jay-Z, and they're like, oh my God, I'm gonna rope Beyonce into this too because I don't like her. And so I think what's happening now on the internet, especially with the whole Jay-Z being roped into this and his name being dropped into this, is that kind of just circulation. Like, it's a perfect storm where it's like you've got the Diddy stuff combined with Jay-Z's name being roped into it, and of course there's just been these crazy conspiracy theories about Beyonce that have been just swirling around recently. So I think it's just really a perfect storm that's kind of coming together, and that's directly targeting these people simply because there's a lot of people who just don't like them, which again, I can respect. I don't think you have to like Beyonce. I don't think you have to like Jay-Z. But I think if you're gonna do like one of these deep dives, if you're really gonna do like one of these like long Twitter threads where you're like, oh, I'm gonna expose them both, I think you really need to question your intent and say, am I doing this because I want justice for the victims, or am I doing this simply because I don't like Beyonce and Jay-Z? I think now, especially post this civil suit coming into the mainstream light, I think a lot of it is just, again, a combination of people that don't like Beyonce, people that don't like Jay-Z. Now they're all kind of roping him in with Diddy. And I'm not saying that they're wrong, because again, they were connected. Like, there's dozens upon dozens of photos of Beyonce and Jay-Z being together. There's dozens of photos, just hundreds of photos of Jay-Z and Diddy being together. There's whole articles about how close the two were. So I don't think that everybody has bad intentions when they're doing these deep dives. I just think some of it is a little bit unserious, and I think some of these people just really want to see Beyonce and Jay-Z's downfall, and they could care less about if the victims get justice or if their stories get told. So after all this came out, of course, Roc Nation put out a statement on Jay-Z's behalf. Of course, Roc Nation is owned by Jay-Z. They did put out a statement. Pretty much Jay-Z is denying the allegations, saying that he was not involved in this, and it's blackmail, and that it's all this. And then when I was looking on my Twitter feed, somebody said that they had taken it down, but then when I went to the official page, it was still up. So I don't know, maybe they took it down briefly, but then they said, oh no, we can't do that, we can't take it down, that's a bad idea. And they immediately put it back up. I don't know, I'm not too certain. But Jay-Z did put out an official statement on this, and of course he's gonna deny the allegations. Like, nobody's gonna willingly admit to raping somebody, like, duh. But then after that, a couple days ago, Beyonce and Jay-Z were at the premiere of the new Mufasa movie. I believe they did the soundtrack, or they did some behind the scenes work on that movie. And it was Beyonce, Jay-Z, and I believe Blue Ivy as well. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I am a little bit biased because I do like Beyonce. Personally, when these allegations came out and then I saw them, like the whole family, like Beyonce and Jay-Z and Blue Ivy at this premiere, I'm just like, why? Like, I think it would benefit Beyonce to just distance herself from Jay-Z just a little bit. Like, I'm not saying she needs to like completely divorce him or anything, because again, we don't know the truth yet. Like, the facts, the hard evidence is not out yet. This is just a civil suit. These are just allegations. All of this is alleged. None of this is 100% like cement in proof yet. And so I think she just needs to distance herself a little bit from him, though. I think that would benefit her, because the more people see them together, especially amid all these allegations, and especially with what's come out after Diddy, people are just roping her into it. Like, they're not really, they don't care what the facts are. They're just seeing Beyonce is still married to Jay-Z. She's still with Jay-Z. Jay-Z was best friends, or at least super close to Diddy. So Jay-Z must have known, which means Beyonce must have known. And they're just going from there. Like, the conspiracy theories are just running rampant. They're running wild. And so I think Beyonce at least needs to just distance herself a little bit from Jay-Z. Like, I'm not saying, again, that she needs to like move to a separate house, but I'm saying that she needs to, like, if she's going to be in the public eye, I think it would benefit her to not have Jay-Z by her side all the time. Like, I think if they're going to the grocery store, sure, it would really benefit her, again, to just step away for a little bit, at least until the hard facts are out or more evidence comes out that either proves he was innocent, or especially if it proves he was guilty. I think it would benefit her, and especially just to distance herself a little bit, just to say, we're not going to do photos together. We're not going to do, red carpet shoots together. And I get it. She wants to stand strong and stand by her man, and I'm pretty sure she believes he's innocent. Again, he might be full well innocent. These are all allegations right now. But I just think, in terms of right now, in the moment, it would benefit her just to distance herself just a little bit. So the next thing that I wanted to discuss was the Azealia Banks and Matty Healy drama. Now, when I first heard about this, I thought somebody was joking. I thought it was like a Stan Twitter joke, or like something somebody had made up. But no, it very much was real, and it very much happened. So for those of you who don't know, this drama started out with Azealia Banks. She tweeted about Charlie XCX's body. She pretty much said that, oh, Charlie XCX used to look so good, and now she looks really bad. But after Azealia Banks tweeted out this statement in regards to Charlie XCX's body, Matty Healy decided to hop into it, and he pretty much said that Azealia Banks just hates on anybody beautiful and pretty, and she's just a hater, and he pretty much just called her a hack and told her she needs to go rap. Now, of course, Azealia Banks, being Azealia Banks, she's not going to let this slide. So, of course, she was clapping back on Twitter, and then for some reason, Matty Healy decided that he was going to egg on or try and bait Azealia Banks into making hurtful or mean comments about his fiance, which I didn't even know he had a fiance. I thought after the Taylor Swift split, he was still single, but apparently he has a fiance. But he decided to put out a tweet saying that nobody better talk bad about his fiance. I think her name is Gabriette. I'm gonna just call her Gabby. But he pretty much was trying to like egg on Azealia Banks and bait her into a trap. I guess to like prove that she really is a nasty, rude, hateful person, as if that hasn't been established already. And of course, Azealia Banks is gonna, you bait her, she's gonna clap back at you. So of course, she clapped onto it. She made a tweet. She said in the tweet, she said that the couple, Matty Healy and Gabby, look like they share needles. But he pretty much tried to egg her on. She made that statement, and then it just spiraled out of control from there. And then it ended up with Matty Healy saying that he was gonna end up in like the Guinness Book of World Records for I think like the hardest like slap ever, or something like that. But he pretty much said that he was gonna slap Azealia Banks. Of course, Azealia Banks being Azealia Banks, she's always gonna get the last laugh when it comes to Twitter or pretty much any online beef. She sent him a whole ass cease and desist. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, she literally sent the man a cease and desist. And then she posted on her Twitter feed, like, a full screenshot of it. Like, it's a full legal document, full cease and desist and everything. She added the 1975, the band that Matty Healy's a part of, and then she added somebody else. I forgot who it was. I believe this was after Matty Healy deleted his account, because I think after he made the remark that he was going to slap Azealia Banks, he deleted his entire Twitter account. And my comments on this are, first of all, Matty Healy, why the hell are you fighting with Azealia Banks online? Anybody with a Twitter account that's older than a year who knows anything about pop culture or will tell you, you should not engage in online beef or discourse with Azealia Banks at all. It doesn't matter what she calls you. It doesn't matter what hurtful things she says about you. Do not engage, because she will win. And this is a clear, cut and dry case of that. Tony Montana with the racks, IBP on my bag, double G's on my dash. Nigga, I'm bad. I'm bad. Where you wanna go, you can't get no high. He thought he had the upper hand with that little Gabby tweet where he put out, nobody better talk about his fiance. Of course, Azealia Banks is then going to talk about your fiance after you say that. Like, duh. Like, nobody who sincerely does not want somebody to talk about somebody they care about is going to put out a tweet saying, oh, you better not talk about this person. Especially when they're going back and forth on Twitter, because then obviously that person is going to just talk about that person. And I guess what he was trying to do was he was trying to like prove that Azealia Banks was really this mean and hurtful person. Duh. Have you seen the stuff she tweets? It's Azealia Banks. Like, she's known for this online. Anybody with a Twitter account will tell you, do not engage with Azealia Banks online. It'll ruin you. And so, of course, I guess he didn't know this for some reason, so he just was going back and forth with her. He did the stupid little Gabby tweet. She dragged Gabby. She dragged him. Then he made that, oh, I'm going to slap you tweet. And then she sent him a cease and desist. And I'm just like, of course this was going to happen. Like, duh, this is what she wanted the whole time. Like, when it comes to online beef and online discourse, Azealia Banks is playing chess and y'all are playing checkers. Like, she is always 2 steps ahead. She knows how y'all are going to react. She knows what to say to get y'all to react. And she knows how to make y'all look like fucking fools online. She's a gifted singer, and she's gifted at online beef too. Like, she has Twitter fingers and just comebacks and just clapbacks and insults like you've never seen. And it doesn't matter what you say about her, she will always beat you when it comes to online beef. I feel like if there was a book of things not to do online, start beef with Azealia Banks would be 3rd on that list. Like, she's known for this. Like, she has a beef rap sheet that is longer than a 50-page essay. Like, the woman has beef with anyone. And I guess he thought he would come out on top by doing all this. Like, I guess he thought he was gonna take the high road. But once they just went into it and kept going back and forth, I'm like, she's already won. Because now it's obvious that you care. Now it's obvious that you're upset. Again, it's Azealia Banks. What do we expect? Like, this woman has been dragging people online, being hateful, being rude, being mean for as long as I can remember. Like, this is not new. Like, this woman has done this. She's gonna keep doing this. This is just who she is. And I guess Matty Healy didn't know this, or he didn't care, or he thought he could beat her online. Like, no. When it comes to online discourse, Azealia Banks is like, she'll take down anyone. It doesn't matter how big you are. She'll take down a whole Stan Twitter account. She could literally take down the Beehive if she wanted to. It's Azealia Banks. Like, she doesn't care. She'll say anything. She'll call you any slur in the book. She doesn't care. She'll win. Like, it doesn't matter what you do, because she's just going to keep egging you on. And again, in like this Matty Healy case, until you threaten her or you threaten like an act of violence. And then she's she got lawyers involved, like literally got lawyers involved. And that's what she wanted pretty much out of this whole thing. Like, of course that's what she wanted. She wanted you to say that you were going to hurt her and harm her, because she's just like, well, oh, now look, I get to send you a cease and desist. Now who looks like the bigger jackass? You do. And that's exactly what happened in this Matty Healy thing. And plus, Matty Healy, you're in a band. Why are you on Twitter? Like, go hop in the studio. Like, you're telling her she needs to go rap. You need to get off of Twitter and go hop in the studio. Because now you look like a fool. Now the woman is sending you a full-on cease and desist. Your whole Twitter account is gone. Like, you're not even on Twitter anymore. Your band is still on Twitter. You're not on Twitter anymore. Like, I don't know who needs to hear this. I don't know who needs to be told this. But if it's between you and Azealia Banks and it's online, you're going to lose. We've been known this. Like, this is nothing new. This is not new information. We've been known this. Azealia Banks is just a hurtful, hateful, rude, mean woman. And that's just how she is. I don't know what to tell him, but stay off of Twitter, maybe. That's what he should do. But that is going to be it for today's video. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys for the next one. Bye!